On the night of May 28th, 2023, the streets of Sanago, Italy were quiet, peaceful even, but behind one apartment door, something sinister had just unfolded. Giulia, 29 years old and 7 months pregnant, vanished without a trace. She wasn't the type to go dark on people. Her phone had always buzzed with messages from friends, family, and clients. That night, it fell silent. Her boyfriend, Alessandro, was the first to raise the alarm, or so it seemed. He told the police she left the apartment after an argument and never came back. No signs of struggle, no screams, no witnesses, just gone. But something didn't sit right. Julia's mother, Laura, instantly knew something was wrong. Her daughter had just told her hours before that she was planning to leave Alessandro for good. She even sent texts to a close friend venting about his emotional abuse, his manipulations, his lies. Now she had disappeared. Detectives started combing through the apartment. There were no signs of forced entry. Her ID was gone, her money too, but oddly her suitcase was still there. Her toothbrush, her vitamins, and then came the detail that hit the hardest. She missed her next OB appointment. For a woman like Julia, who had prepared for motherhood with such care, that was unthinkable. This wasn't a case of cold feet, this was something else entirely. And the man crying to reporters claiming he was worried sick, he already knew exactly where Julia was. He had put her there. Before the news headlines, before the missing posters, before the horrific discovery, there was just Giulia. Born on May 2nd, 1994 in Naples, Italy, Giulia Tramontano had the kind of energy that left an impression. She was warm, ambitious, sharp-witted. Her friends called her the glue, the one who kept everyone together. She was raised in a close-knit family, one where tradition and modern ambition walked hand in hand. She was the kind of woman who made you feel seen. Even in a crowded room, she wasn't just kind, she was smart. After finishing her studies, she dove headfirst into the real estate world and rose quickly. By 25, she had a solid reputation, a strong client base, and a future full of promise. But Julia didn't just want a job, she wanted more. So in 2020, she left behind the comfort of Naples and moved north to Milan, chasing opportunity and independence. And it was in that city, bustling with promise, where she met him, Alessandro. He was charming, magnetic, easy to talk to, a bartender at a luxury hotel who always seemed to know the right thing to say. He made Julia laugh. He listened, at least at first. The romance was fast and passionate. Within months, they had moved in together. Julia was in love, and more than that, she was hopeful. She believed she finally found someone who could match her energy, who wanted the same things, a family, stability, growth. But Alessandro, he didn't want those things. He wanted control. And when Julia found out she was pregnant, she thought it might bring them closer. Instead, it put her in a deadly danger. At first, the cracks were small, just sharp jokes, little jabs wrapped in humor. Alessandro made fun of Julia's southern Italian accent, mocked her football team, laughed when she got emotional. It seemed harmless at first, until it wasn't. Soon his mood shifted like a storm front. One day he was affectionate, the next cold and distant. He began criticizing how she arranged their apartment, how she answered his questions, how she breathed, and every time she tried to bring it up, he shut her down. Sometimes with silence, sometimes with rage, but underneath it all was a much darker betrayal. Alessandro had been cheating on her for months. Her name was Allegra. Younger, elegant, multilingual, another woman from the hotel world. To her, Alessandro wasn't just charming, he was available. He told Allegra he had broken up with Julia long ago, that she was just staying at the apartment temporarily while finding a new place. It was all a lie, but he played the role so well. Neither woman suspected the other existed. He juggled two lives, two lies, two versions of himself, and for a while he pulled it off. But in late 2022, Julia began feeling different, exhausted, nauseated, a little off. Then two pink lines appeared. She told Alessandro with a nervous smile this was the moment that would finally bring them closer, right? But instead of joy, his response was bone chilling. Are you sure? He asked. No excitement, no questions about the baby, just distance. And with that cold reaction, Giulia realized she might be in this alone. She just didn't know yet how dangerous the isolation would become. As the baby grew, Alessandro's love evaporated. He didn't come to doctor visits, didn't ask how she felt, no nursery plans, no name discussions. It was as if he was pretending the baby didn't exist. But behind his silence, he was plotting. While Giulia texted her family that she was tired and nauseous, Alessandro was already researching how to kill her. Not quickly, not loudly, quietly, so that no one would notice. His solution? He combed through the internet in secret, searching for chemicals that mimicked pregnancy symptoms. He read about rat poison, easily accessible, slow. He stirred tiny amounts of it into her food, into her tea, day by day, week by week. Giulia didn't know. She blamed the fatigue and abdominal pain on her pregnancy. She told friends she wasn't feeling right, but she pushed through it, thinking it was just the toll of motherhood. Meanwhile, Alessandra watched, waited, but her body was stronger than he anticipated. She didn't die. The baby kept growing. Alessandro panicked. His timeline was unraveling. To make things worse, Allegra had her own surprise. She was pregnant too. Now had 2 women, 2 pregnancies, and 0 control. He convinced Allegra to end hers, escorting her to the clinic like a supportive partner. Then he came home to Giulia, still pregnant, still alive, and began pushing harder. Are you sure you want this? But Giulia wasn't bending. She was ready to raise the baby alone if she had to. And in that decision, Alessandro saw the death of his carefully curated life. And so, he decided she had to die. It could have ended there. A woman slowly poisoned in silence, but fate and Giulia's strength intervened. Because Giulia wasn't naive, she felt the change in Alessandro. She sensed the deceit, and by spring of 2023, she knew she wasn't crazy. Something was wrong, very wrong. Then one night everything came crashing down. Allegra found photos on Alessandro's phone, pictures of him and Giulia laughing, hugging, still clearly a couple. The truth was in the frame. The next day Allegra messaged Giulia, and just like that, the veil lifted. They met at the hotel face to face, 2 women betrayed by the same man. At first they were cautious, but within minutes the puzzle came together. The lies, the fake DNA test, the manipulation. They weren't enemies, they were victims. And when that meeting ended, Giulia made a decision. She was done. She told Alessandro she knew everything, the cheating, the lies, the fake tests, all of it. He panicked, gaslit, screamed, but Giulia wasn't scared anymore. She was clear, calm. She told him she was leaving, going back to Naples. He was out of her life for good. She didn't know it would be her last goodbye. That night, she messaged her mom and sister she'd be home in a few days. She said she never made it because Alessandro couldn't handle losing control, and what he did next would leave even seasoned detectives physically ill. By now, Alessandro was cornered. His double life had crumbled. Both women knew the truth. The carefully crafted mask he wore, boyfriend, professional, father-to-be, was gone. Giulia had exposed him. She was leaving. And with that, he was losing the one thing he valued more than either relationship: control. May 27, 2023, Giulia packed her bags. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. She moved with quiet finality. Alessandro, pacing like a caged animal, tried to stop her. Not with love, but rage. He hurled accusations, insults, desperate words. She didn't flinch. And in that moment, as she turned away from him, the final time, something inside Alessandro snapped. He reached for a kitchen knife. The attack was fast. 37 stab wounds. It wasn't an outburst. It wasn't a moment of madness. It was deliberate. He wanted to erase her. And the baby too. So he did what cowards always do. He tried to cover it up. He dragged her to the bathroom, poured alcohol over her, set her on fire, thinking flames could erase what he had done. But the fire sputtered out, leaving her half-burned body behind. He moved her body into a trash bag, then into the trunk of his car, and once that was done, He went to lunch with his mother, sat across from her, smiled, ate pasta as if nothing had happened. Alessandro texted Giulia's family, pretending to be her. "I need some time alone," one message read. Vague, off tone, wrong. Her mother knew it immediately. This wasn't Giulia. Alessandro then reported her missing. He even offered to help with the search. For days, he moved her body from the apartment to the building, basement, then to the garage, then into the car. He even drove out to remote locations, scouting places where no one would find the body. But he waited too long. Every lie he told, every move he made left a breadcrumb behind. Blood was found in the stairwell surveillance footage showing him hauling trash bags. Forensic teams found Giulia's DNA in the trunk of his car. Detectives opened up his laptop. Search history. How to kill without trace. Poison that mimics pregnancy complications. They had him. And then on June 1st, 2023, 5 days after Giulia vanished, he broke. He led them to the edge of the field near Sanago. There in the underbrush, they found her. Her body burned but not destroyed. Even in death, she defied. The judge agreed Alessandro was sentenced to life in prison. No parole, shortcuts, no leniency. If you thought this story was interesting, the next one will definitely leave you speechless, because this famous statue may very well be the corpse of this missing man.